Welcome, everybody, to the 21st annual Keenspot panel at San Diego Comic-Con at home. Second annual at home San Diego Comic-Con panel for Keenspot. But wanted to go ahead and introduce who everybody is here. I'm Rob Potsy Potchak, your host and panelist. We also have Erik Klaus from Ninjas and Robots. We've got Eric Kent from Junior High Horrors. We've got Billy Parker, Alex Smith, both from the D Ward, and then we've got Tim Showers, who kind of just jumps between a bunch of these books. Cover artist for both D Ward and Ninjas and Robots. So, all right, knowing that we have on the panel a monthly book now, and a pretty good book, I must say, in Ninjas and Robots. Eric, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about how you got the idea for Ninjas and Robots and where it's going.
I didn't get these questions in advance. So Ninjas and Robots is essentially, at its core, is a revenge story. Basically, Yuki, the hero, a ninja princess, witnesses someone very close to her being murdered, and she's not strong enough to stop them. So it's basically her whole journey to get the strength to kind of take revenge on the guy that made up the bad guy that made all this happen.
So on top of that, we've got Junior High Horrors Return of the Walking Flu coming out in July. Should be out by the time this actually airs. And Eric Kent, what are you doing in that book to try to really add to what has already been established with the Junior High Horrors lore?
Oh, well, just what we always do. We got to jam more characters in.
Oh, look at Billy holding up Junior High Horrors #1.
We have to see who I haven't drawn yet and start working them in.
Yeah, excellent. I've even noticed that we've had multiple times where I don't even say who the characters are, and Eric's just drawing them into the background now.
I did find this.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
Wait, is that an autographed copy?
Yeah, man.
That even has an autograph on there from somebody that we don't really know, right? All right. Wait.
It's the one I didn't do.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
That's right.
I guess so. Like I
That's the one I did the most artwork in.
I was like, hey, I got this, you know.
It is the issue that Billy did the most artwork in. Eric, so you were saying that issue 7 is coming out, and obviously you've already solicited all the way up through, I believe, issue 10 of the book.
We've turned in covers up to issue 11, and I'm turning in the interiors for issue 8 next week.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And I've seen that there is a little bit of an issue with Diamond. They censored one of the covers.
Yeah, they censored the cover for issue 8. I guess I didn't even think of it. There's a nice buttocks on the cover, and Chris didn't notice it either. So we just sent it off, and they totally flagged it and sent it back, and they were like, "Yeah, no, we can't."
No butts.
Now,
no butts.
Thing about
Everything
that is,
else,
no
they
butts.
censor that.
Yeah, right.
The thing about that is that like Instagram didn't even notice that.
No,
we can show them on TV, but we can't show them on a comic book cover.
Right.
Can't hand draw one.
So I had to slap a censored sticker over it, and
Nice.
they said they'd put that in there, and then the one in print will actually be uncensored. But
Yeah, although you did throw up a nice little parental advisory logo on it.
for number 7,
Yeah. Yes.
Like that.
the Naked Ninjas.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think that we're going to have to put out a T-shirt of the parental advisory Naked Ninjas.
We should. That'd be really cool.
I think that's a pretty good one. So where is Yuki and the gang going?
They are traveling up Mount Kumo, which is Cloud Mountain, which is where they live. They live in a kind of temple called Dragonfly Temple. And so they have a home base sort of there, and they're in their 3rd year at the Shinobi School, which is like a trade school for ninjas. And they're finishing up and having lots of adventures along the way while she tries to level up and beat some bad guys and beat some robots. So.
Yeah. Now I know that when Billy and I actually talked to you at a local convention about 2 years ago, you had to explain to me why it was called Ninjas and Robots, and I just want you to go ahead and go through that process again because now I feel like a complete idiot for not just understanding.
Well, it's a comic book about ninjas and robots. And a lot of people just want to like do the ninjas versus robots thing, but not all the ninjas are bad or good, and not all the robots are bad, and some of them are good. So it could really go either way. And we just really thought, like, why not? Like, those are like the two best things. Like, why not? It's something you can look at and instantly what's inside. Like, there's no guessing. And so I just thought that was cool. But yeah, you guys weren't so sure about why I did that. So.
Well, I said,
dude, I actually have an
Ninjas and
old school
Robots.
shirt. I have an old school like Ninjas and Robots shirt. Like I should go try to find it really quick, dude. It's old school. Like I think I got it at SuperCon. That's how old it is.
So
Yeah,
I actually,
pretty
during
sick.
that whole process, I was, I asked him. I said, why Ninjas and Robots? And he said, well, everybody likes ninjas and everybody likes robots. So why not Ninjas and Robots? And I was like,
why not?
Works for me.
And we've had some really cool people on retail incentive covers. We've had some really cool people doing just the variant covers on the book. So how about you go ahead and name drop some of those folks so that they get a little recognition here.
So we had Kevin Eastman, the co-creator of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He was very gracious and did a cover for issue 1 for us. And we had Jim Mahfood on issue 2. We've had so many great people. We had Rags Morales on, he does the retailer incentive for issue 9. So we just have been very fortunate to have people be willing and wanting to jump on this, because it's it's an indie book, but it's been really cool. Tim Showers did a cover for issue 4, and that was super, super sick.
Yeah. All the covers have been bad. So
yeah, and it's such a great variety of different stuff. And not to go on a tangent, but sometimes people kind of trash talk the variant covers, and they're like, why? And it goes back to Ninjas and Robots. It's like, well, why not? It gives someone else a chance to participate in this and to put their sick skills onto a cover and put it out there in the world. So why not? Like, we're having a good time, and it's very much like a community sort of thing that we're doing. I mean, I do really, much of the legwork, but
yeah, it's like a punk rock DIY or die kind of thing, kind of approach, which is like, that's what it's all about. Like, if anybody's talking trash, and like, well, that's shame on them. Like, because everybody starts somewhere. It's like, say you're in a band, right, and you're just starting off, you have to deal with all of that BS that like that bands have to go through. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same kind of thing. Like, so I don't know. I'm thankful. That's all I'm saying. Like,
cool. It's super cool. It's super cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, one last thing for you, Klaus, while we got you here, I noticed that over your right shoulder, our left side of your part here, there seems to be another set of ninjas there. Like what's that all about?
So I did a retailer exclusive variant for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 100. It was for our local comic book shop, Dragon's Lair, and they just wanted to do it for the shop. And for issue 100, it was a double issue, and so I did this really cool wraparound cover. And for me, it was like full circle, because I got into comics through Kevin Eastman and Ninja Turtles, and so for someone to say, hey, we want you to do a cover, it's going to be published by IDW, it's going to be Turtles 100, that was pretty rad. So yeah, that's one of my honors. Yeah.
And then I guess last question for you. Obviously, you can answer any of the questions as they come up about covers or anything else, because you've obviously done covers for some of the other books that we're talking about as well. But you mentioned that the ninjas go to a trade school, and you personally went to a trade school, didn't you?
Yeah. So I went to the Kubert School, which is a trade school for comic book art and illustration in Dover, New Jersey. So it's a 3-year program, and I did that 2013 through 2016, and that was super cool. It was the year after Joe left us, so I was not fortunate enough to meet Joe Kubert, but Andy Kubert and Adam Kubert were 2 of my instructors, and so to just kind of be in that world where so much amazing art is on the walls, and like the history there, and just the influence they've had in comic books was really, really cool. It was kind of like,
go ahead. I was just going to say, to stand out in that type of world and actually come up with your own concepts, seeing all of that has to be kind of daunting, but also very very relieving when you know that you've accomplished it, right?
Yeah, well, it's hard because it's not what everyone else is doing, and it's not really what everyone else wants to do. So there was a lot of resistance. When I started school, there was a lot of, don't draw that way. Don't do that. Like, do this. And there was a lot of classical training as an approach to making comic books. So my style is a little bit different. It's a little bit looser. And so there was a lot of, I don't know. It was weird. By the time I got to 3rd year, they were a lot more open and kind of receptive to that. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of always my dream to, do this, to write stories, to tell my own stories, to make up my own characters, and to do a comic book. So, it was just kind of, for me, it was my path. It was my way. And so far so good. So yeah, we're having a good time, right?
Yeah. No,
Oh yeah.
That monthly
awesome.
Instagram message to talk about the solicitations and everything is always fun.
Yeah.
There's just so much that, like, I've picked up and I've learned from just talking to you in different moments and things. So it really adds to it. I think that we've had what I feel is a really good collaboration with each other so far.
Yeah, I think so too.
And with everybody on this panel, I feel like that's been the case. I've done drink and draws with Tim Showers, where the 2 of us were just trying to push each other with the artwork.
Just trying to drink, you said?
What?
Trying to drink?
There's a little drawing.
It's mostly drawing.
It's mostly drawing.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually call it sketching and sipping. Not.
Yeah. You gotta have some sips. You're gonna have your sips, and then you sketch also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
I kind of
sketching is,
I'm trying to like not work on the stuff that I have back here. I'm like, oh man, I have to like be like patient here. Yeah.
I'm secretly drawing too.
I'm hearing everything.
Also working. You just can't see it.
So let's go ahead and move on. We'll start talking about junior high horrors, Return of the Walking Flu. We mentioned it a little bit earlier. Don't know where the edits are going to come in with all that, but Erik Kent, you have been on the book pretty much since issue 1, and I say that because now with the trade paperback coming out, anybody who has bought the issues since the very beginning is getting a special treat with the art in this book now. So why don't you go ahead and tell me what you talked me into?
Oh, that I talked you into? Well, I guess we talked about it for a while. There was no reason not to do it, to redraw the entire first issue, just to have it match up.
Yeah, and it really was. I had to. I joke saying that Erik talked me into it, but no, I had to sit there and have a conversation with both him and Billy, because I wanted to get the entire team back together so that we could make that collaboration a full trade. We even went back through, because we obviously started the dyslexia friendly font with issue 5. We went back through and even updated all of that. So now the entire trade paperback, when it comes out, called Freaks and Geeks in July, will be fully dyslexia friendly, and it will be a complete story with the art actually being very consistent throughout the entire thing. Billy, tell me about the process with that, because obviously you came on and came back to do that, because you even have used different techniques now to re-emulate that, right?
Yes, and I had to go back and remember how I did a lot of the other issues. It was fun. I've upgraded my system a little bit and got some different software, and it was fun to go back and get right into Photoshop and take it into Illustrator and do the Adobe stuff. But Adobe is it's not as easy to work with as some of the other software now. So it's nice to be able to go into the new software, and the coloring was a lot faster, and then adding shading and things were a lot easier with the new system I have.
So and then Erik, you and I have already discussed 2 more books coming up for junior high horrors. Obviously, we've got Return of the Walking Flu coming out, and the whole reason I'll go ahead and explain the reason why we decided to re-enter that world was because I really like the Rick Grimes choral jokes. So I wanted to incorporate that because I think dad jokes are just one of the dumbest, funniest things out there. So they really do. Like every 4th or 5th page, there's a choral joke in there.
Just wanted me to draw more characters.
I did. And for those that don't know, we've got friends named the Geralds who actually were zombies in multiple episodes of The Walking Dead. And yes. I asked Erik as a special Easter egg for the books to see if he could drop them into the issues. So they're actually floating around in different backgrounds of the issue as an Easter egg just for our friends, but also an Easter egg because they really were zombies in The Walking Dead. So I thought that was a pretty funny little thing there. Not to mention the whole concept of the book. It's funny because I see on Instagram and I see on Twitter a bunch of times where people have actually mentioned the first Walking Flu issue, which was number 3 of the original run. And during that time, I sat there and I didn't think anything of it. Kids getting the flu and walking around school and giving the flu to everybody else was kind of funny to me. But then all of a sudden, we had the pandemic hit, and before you knew it, people were sitting there saying, this guy actually knew before everybody else. And it was like, no, that wasn't it. I was just trying to impress.
I've been called insensitive a couple of times for this one.
Yes. There were multiple times that people had to edit me on this issue. So, which had been a first because normally I'm the one that's trying to be super conservative and not offend anybody. And this time there were multiple jokes in there that had to be re-looked at or at least explained to the audience. And I'm glad I have a bunch of parents that actually read the book before I actually go to print with it, because I think it became a better book because of the changes in the edits. But yeah, this time we're adding more characters to it, and then of course the next 2 books that we've got planned afterwards. I guess we can go ahead and announce them because they'll be coming. One is going to be called Karate Kai, which will basically be the kids all trying to learn karate. I may be influenced by a Ninjas and Robots book there. I don't know, but that's going to be a fun one for Erik to try to draw John Kreese. And then of course we're going to return to the world of Strangest Thingies for Strangest Thingies Part 2. And that one, obviously, we're going to try to tie into probably closer to the Netflix launch of the hit show of a name very similar. But in July, I'll go ahead and say now in July, we do have both Ninjas and Robots Volume 1 coming out, as well as Junior High Horrors Volume 1. Those will be available anywhere books are sold, so you can go into your local bookstore. You can ask your comic book shops to order them there. They can, because most of them do have Simon & Schuster accounts, but otherwise you can order it on Amazon, Target, Walmart, wherever books are sold. So that's a pretty big thing for us, and there are other books from Keenspot like Grubs that are also available now. And then Billy, I want to go ahead and get to you, sir. You have a little bit off in the future, but in October we get your horror story, The D Ward, in bookstores as well. So people may not have seen after the first issue of this book because apparently pirates attacked the ship.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know how far in the ship they went. They may have made it back to the warehouse at the printers, but things got delayed a little bit, and it's unfortunate, but that's how it happens sometimes. And but I had a blast. We pushed the book. We got out. The issue 4 finally got out, and the trade's gonna be out October 12th. And a lot of these fine young gentlemen on this page have helped me with doing covers and things like that, which is really awesome.
I think this guy actually.
You guys. I had a Ben Templesmith do a nice little cover for me.
That Templesmith is so great.
It's always fun. Of course, Alex did his covers.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I love that one. I love that one too. I have Eric's here. Erik did a wonderful cover for me. One of my favorites. Tim did a cover for me showing that. It's the only one I couldn't find to show. And then, of course, Potsy did me a nice little cover there on there for me. So I appreciate every bit of help you guys did for me there. It was wonderful. I had a blast doing the book. I want to do some more books. So we'll
So why don't you go ahead and explain what the book's about?
Well, so the D Ward's about a kid named Xander Wiley. He experiences a really odd tragedy growing up. He hears his brother being murdered over the phone. His brother's shouting out things about demons, and he's really confused. But that makes him want to grow up and understand, get into psychology, understand why maybe his brother was going through these things. Gets a job at a mental institution, and then, long story short, finds out that demons are real. And so then, you enter that world. It was real fun. I kind of kin it to, Alex gave me this one, Supernatural meets One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which is a great little comparison there. So good stuff, real fun. Little gory at times, but I say it's a PG-13-ish age range. So. Ish.
Are there going to be extras in the trade that aren't available or that weren't in the single issues?
Well, we're going to hopefully, I think we have all we'll have the cover gallery in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get a fan art page in there, and we'll see where it goes. The story was left intentionally questioning whether or not there'll be anything in the future. So,
and with that, Billy, it's one of those things where obviously, like, being with you as you develop this project and property from pretty much the get-go, you had did all the design work and everything before even contacting Alex about working on the book. But Alex, yeah. when you came on, you totally took those concepts and ideas and made them your own. And were able to really give life to those characters. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that process and what you were thinking to get those characters to where they were?
Well, Billy had a lot of the characters already, pretty fleshed out. Even he had drawn them, because he had drawn Xander and a couple of the other characters, at least a little bit, and
concepts anyway.
yeah. Xander was pretty much done though, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, pretty much.
I did a little bit, I made his hair a little messier, and, I made him look a little more, I don't know, rough around the edges than I think you did.
Yeah.
Like right out of school.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I always thought of Xander as being maybe closer to 30 than 20,
yeah.
And it had taken him a while to get where he got. And, maybe he didn't always remember to shave, he needed help to tie his tie, that kind of kid.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah. And, there's a lot of Peter Parker in the way I draw him. And Billy had really good descriptions when we talked. We talked a lot about all the different characters and how they're going to look. And, certain characters, Billy said, well, it's this actor, but also this character, and if you can just mush them. So that's what, I tried to do. But yeah, it was like Billy would give me his description, and then I'd go wild with it. And every now and then Billy'd be like, "Nah, that's not quite what I wanted." But that was maybe twice out of the whole thing. The hardest thing, honestly, was just the situation in our personal lives in the world at the time we were trying to make this comic, because during issue 4, the pandemic had essentially started as we were trying to wrap it up and get it out. And excuse me, before that, me and Billy were both stressed out about different things, and but it got done, and we had help, and we had some great covers. We had some really good feedback from a lot of different people, and it was a really rewarding project. I want more people to read it.
Yeah, I really think that people should pick it up and read it. I feel, and I even said this from the very beginning, that I felt that this was going to be one of those stories that people may hold off to buy the trade, specifically because you kind of want to get it all in one sitting. It feels like a motion picture. It doesn't feel like an episodic television show. So
you gotta drop the whole season at once, bud.
That's right.
To mainline that story.
Exactly. And now in October, that's exactly what's going to happen. And
it's the perfect release time, really.
Exactly.
And I would like to say real quick too,
be better would be like late September. Back in '63.
Well, and I'd like to also say thanks to Bernie Cook and Marcus Cripes. They helped out. Filled in a spot or two when we needed a little extra help. And also my good buddy Zach, he helped with a little editing, as well as my editor in chief Potsy over here. So it really helped out. I think it helped flesh the book out, so got me to a good ending, and I'm glad to have got what I got done. So.
Now you guys tend to give me some credit for editing your books, but I got to tell you, it's been a very easy job for me. Both of you typically are already editing your own work, and Klaus, same thing with you. You're already doing most of the work, and so I sit there and I'm like, okay, you missed a period here. Okay, do we go Oxford comma or not? And everything else is pretty much already ready to go and done. So you guys make my jobs extremely easy. Erik, Kent, that you make my job extremely easy. I'm now learning how to become a letterer just to really get my hands full with a bunch of these projects. But
because you need more jobs.
Yeah, because I need more jobs. Exactly. Everybody wonders how I do everything I do at this point anyway. Tim Showers, you have done covers now for the D Ward. You've done a cover for Ninjas and Robots. Take us through your process real quick, because we've only got a couple minutes here before Zoom kicks us off. But
I don't know. I kind of just want to work on everything that's behind me. I've listened to everything, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing here.
But when,
I just want to add a stroke here, and I'm like, oh wait, hold on. So I work traditionally, so I work by hand, So
I get that. What I mean though is like when these guys asked you to be a part of their projects, how did you make the determination of which character you were going to draw and paint? How did you determine what position they were going to be in, and really try to make it as colorful of an image as possible to put more eyes on
it? There was no plan. It was
See, this guy really does work on comic books.
Yeah. I was at Billy's house when I made, the D Ward cover to this one. And I was like, okay, well, I'll send some sketches. And, I had to go off of some character designs from, both
Alex and me. Yeah.
Him and Alex. So I was like, well, I'll go with that. So, and then, that was
turned out great.
Yeah, it turned out awesome. So I took the original painting, and I got it photographed, and I sent the image, and so that's the original. Nothing is digital with what I do, So even with Erik's cover, and he has the original too, so it's that's all hand done. It's on a sheet of Bristol paper. So it's acrylics and Bristol varnished, and a dear friend of mine photographed it for me, and that's what it is. That's all I got.
You should, if anyone ever gets a chance to watch Tim draw, it's fantastic. I swear that I've seen Timmy just have a marker in each dang hand and just It's amazing because he just draws. He
And-
doesn't think. He doesn't plan. He doesn't worry about nothing. He's just hands and medium, like whatever he's drawing with. It's just going, and he
paint
gets it
and-
done.
Chalk and charcoal and whatever he's using.
Yeah, Tim Showers is
That's-
an artist. He's not an illustrator. He's not a graphic artist. He's not a graphic designer. Tim Showers is an artist, and that's why he can't explain to you, because he just does the thing.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm glad you brought that up because I want everybody who did take a chance to watch this panel to sit there and know where they can find the work of everybody here. So why don't we go ahead? We'll start with Erik Klaus. Where can they find you on Instagram, Facebook, and everything else?
At Interstate Ninja or interstateninja.com.
Okay. Alex?
On Instagram, and that's it at this point. And I gotta look it up to see what my name even is. Also, you can go
right.
McDrawpants.
I think it's just at McDrawpants. But sometimes it's got sketchy in there too. So let's see here. Also, my website, sketchymcdrawpants.com. It hasn't been updated in a while, but it's got some pretty recent stuff. Yeah, it's just at McDrawpants on Instagram.
All right. Tim Showers, where can they find you?
TM Showers, like at TM Showers, one word. That's it. So,
all right.
Yep.
Erik Kent, where can they find you?
Erik L. Kent on everything.
Yeah, do not just go Erik Kent. There's some guy who does not
You'll
like
get a
receiving
winery.
messages.
You get a winery.
And
That's
then
your
Billy
other life,
Parker.
huh? I'm at comics COMIXED on Instagram. There's a couple other connections off of that. You can go into Twitter and Facebook and those things, but who uses those really? So
Anybody over the age of 30.
there you go. My mom's my biggest fan anyway.
Yes, your mom is your biggest fan.
She really is.
She doesn't know how to put the liked button. She does follow everything, but she doesn't know how to like it.
That's right.
we still love Georgia though.
Yes.
And of course, everybody can find me at if it's on Instagram, it's at Rob Potchak, at Junior High Horrors. You can also find me on YouTube at youtube.com/Rob Potchak. So, folks, with that, I want to go ahead and thank all of our panelists for being here. I also want to thank everybody who paid attention and actually listened to this whole thing. It was a cluster, but a cluster of fun.
It's good seeing everyone.
Night
Bye,
all.
guys.
Take care, everybody.